Well, the liquor policy scam continues to haunt the Aam Admi Party, with the CBI now issuing a lookout notice against the Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia and 12 other people who have been named in the FIR that has been filed by the central agency on the liquor policy violations. Now, this comes even as the CBI probe continues. A lookout notice being issued against Manish Sisodia also means that he will have to take prior permission before he leaves the country. Bhavtosh is joining us live with more details on this. Bhavtosh, the news tightening around Manish Sisodia lookout notice has been issued by the CBI. If you can explain it further, what does it mean for Manish Sisodia?
Well, it means more trouble, but Pratibha, it is also embarrassment for AAP party, because he's one of the tallest leaders for AAP, and he's a very close associate of Arvind Kejriwal. Remember, Arvind Kejriwal and the relationship goes way back. They were in fact a part of an NGO which Arvind Kejriwal had set up, and issuing a lookout circular against Manish Sisodia clearly means that he's being treated as a main suspect as far as this
FIR he's also been named in the FIR. Bhavtosh, requesting you to stay on with us. Some breaking news also coming in. Now, the Enforcement Directorate is also likely to step in. So, CBI has shared the case files with the Enforcement Directorate in the issue. Now, the Enforcement Directorate is also likely to step in. So, more trouble for Manish Sisodia. Bhavtosh, not just the CBI, now the Enforcement Directorate also all set to step in.
Yes, Pratibha. In fact, Enforcement Directorate is a secondary agency. It always needs a predicate offence before it can step in. And all the case files of this case, excise policy case, has been sent to Enforcement Directorate, and this is a very serious offence. The CBI has registered a case under Prevention of Corruption Act and also that of various sections of IPC. All files of this case has now been sent to the Enforcement Directorate, and one can expect that anytime this week the Enforcement Directorate will register a case under Section 3 and 4 of PMLA. Now, if you just go by the FIR that has been filed by the CBI, there is a direct charge of corruption that has been leveled against various associates of Manish Sisodia, where it has been said that anywhere between 1 to 4 crore rupees bribe was being collected by people close to Manish Sisodia, and this money was being collected on behalf of certain individual close to Manish Sisodia. Now, the money was being given to in fact, by people who had got the license. Now, this is a very serious charge, and sources within Enforcement Directorate has said that this is very similar to any illegal money transaction, and the case will be registered. Now, Enforcement Directorate will take over this case, and they have said that they will register their own money laundering case. Now, for AAP as well as for Delhi government, this means more trouble, and CBI in fact has gone much beyond what the LG has registered. The complaint that was given by LG, and it was looking at tweaking of excise policy. CBI in fact had registered a case of corruption, and now the Enforcement Directorate will be registering a case of money laundering. It's just a matter of time. It can be registered even tomorrow or in next few days.
Okay, so the enforcement case information report, if filed against Manish Sisodia, now that the CBI has, of course, conducted searches, now the Enforcement Directorate also stepping in, does that mean that the threat of arrest of Manish Sisodia still looms large?
Well, both AAP as well as Manish Sisodia has said that Centre will use its federal probe agency, and they will arrest Manish Sisodia. Remember, this has been said both by Arvind Kejriwal as well as Manish Sisodia, that because of the growing popularity of AAP, both the agencies will be used by the Centre as well as by BJP. But if you just look at the charges that have been leveled by the CBI, direct charges of corruption have been leveled by the CBI, and the Enforcement Directorate has said that they will first go through the case file as well as by the documents that have been taken over by the Enforcement Directorate, and then carry out its own investigation. Now, opposition has always said that Enforcement Directorate has been used by the CBI, by the Centre, and various leaders have been arrested, but it's clear indication that more trouble will happen in days to come, because the very fact that money laundering case will be filed means more trouble, because Section 3 and 4 are in fact very serious offences, because the CBI FIR clearly says that money was being transferred. It mentions the accounts where the money was being transferred and how the money was being in fact being transferred. charges are that anywhere between 1 to 4 crore rupees was being transferred. It means trouble for not only for Manish Sisodia but all 12 to 13 individuals who have been named in the FIR.
Okay, all right. For his part, Manish Sisodia, of course, continues to say that I'm clean. You can probe me all you want. You're not going to find anything. In fact, after the lookout notice against the Delhi Deputy Chief Minister and 13 others, Sisodia has now also issued a challenge to the centre after the CBI issued a lookout notice. He tweeted, "Raids have failed. Not a single penny has been found. Now lookout notice has been issued. I'm roaming freely in Delhi. Tell me, where do I have to come?" That's the statement from Manish Sisodia saying, "I'm ready. Tell me where to come. I'll come and meet you."
मैंने भी मीडिया में देखा कि मोदी जी ने मेरे खिलाफ लुकआउट नोटिस जारी कराया है। ये थोड़ा दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है कि देश के प्रधानमंत्री सुबह से शाम तक यही सोचते रहते हैं कि सीबीआई से किसको नोटिस जारी कराऊं, किसके घर रेड कराऊं, किसकी सरकार गिराऊं, किसके यहाँ ईडी भेजूं। देश के प्रधानमंत्री अब यही सोचने के लिए रह गए हैं। आज महंगाई इतनी बढ़ गई है, बेरोजगारी बढ़ गई है। आज सुबह ही महंगाई की रिपोर्ट आई है इतनी सारी। महंगाई के बारे में नहीं सोचते मोदी जी, बेरोजगारी के बारे में नहीं सोचते। आज देश ऐसे नेता को ढूंढ रहा है जो महंगाई का सॉल्यूशन ढूंढे, जो बेरोजगारी का सॉल्यूशन ढूंढे, ये देश को नंबर 1 बनाने पे काम करे। अब मनीष सिसोदिया को नंबर 0 बना दो, अरविंद केजरीवाल को नंबर 0 बनाने की सारी साजिशें कर लो, उससे क्या होता है? इससे देश थोड़ी नंबर 1 बनेगा। देश तो नंबर 1 बनेगा जब देश के प्रधानमंत्री बैठ के, सारे मुख्यमंत्री और सब लोग बैठ के 24 घंटे हेल्थ के बारे में सोचें, एजुकेशन के बारे में सोचें, काम करने के बारे में सोचें। ये सोचते हैं कैसे बस विपक्ष की सरकार को गिरा दो, कैसे सीबीआई का मिसयूज कर लो, कैसे ईडी का मिसयूज कर लो, कैसे किसी को नोटिस दिला दो। अब की बार तो देश की जनता लुकआउट नोटिस देगी और 2024 में देगी और पूछेगी कि बड़े बड़े वादे करके कहां चले गए। अब देश की जनता लुकआउट करेगी 2024 में।
घंटे की रेड हुई, कल तो एफआईआर में डालने लोगों को बुलाया गया, आज लुकआउट नोटिस जारी हुआ। लग रहा है हर दिन इसमें
इनका अब काम यही रह गया है। यही तो कह रहा हूं, 75 साल से सत्ता में बैठ के यही करते आ रहे हैं ये लोग और अभी भी यही कर रहे हैं। इनको समझ नहीं आ रहा है कि देश महंगाई का सॉल्यूशन चाह रहा है, इनको समझ नहीं आ रहा है कि देश बेरोजगारी का सॉल्यूशन चाह रहा है। इंडिया को नंबर 1 बनाने की एक तरफ अरविंद केजरीवाल जी बात कर रहे हैं और ये सुबह से शाम तक बैठ के सीबीआई, ईडी किसके यहाँ भेजना है उसी पे बात करते रहते हैं।
आज आप लोग गुजरात कल जाने वाले हैं, गुजरात दौरा है, शिक्षा स्वास्थ्य की बात है।
नहीं, गुजरात के चुनाव भी होगा और गुजरात में भी इस बार चुनाव शिक्षा और स्वास्थ्य के बेस पे होगा।
Well, it's not just Manish Sisodia. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal also steps up attack on the centre. Kejriwal has tweeted, "At a time when common man is battling inflation, crores of youth are unemployed, the central government, along with all the state governments, should fight unemployment and inflation. Instead, they are fighting with the whole country." Every morning, they wake up and start the game of CBI and Enforcement Directorate. How will a country progress then? This is a tweet of Arvind Kejriwal saying the centre is targeting them for the good work that they have done. In fact, that has been the charge of the Aam Admi Party.
मनीष सिसोदिया के शिक्षा मॉडल को पूरी दुनिया में लोकप्रियता मिल रही है। ऐसे आदमी को लुकआउट नोटिस, जिनके घर पे 14 घंटे सीबीआई जांच करती है, कुछ नहीं मिलता, कुछ भी नहीं मिला मनीष सिसोदिया के घर। हत्यारों को सीबीआई लुकआउट नोटिस नहीं जारी करती, आतंकवादियों को लुकआउट नोटिस जारी नहीं करती, लाखों करोड़ रुपए के लुटेरों को लुकआउट नोटिस जारी नहीं करती। मोदी जी, आप ये नौटंकी क्यों कर रहे हैं? ये ड्रामा क्यों कर रहे हैं? पूरा देश देख रहा है आपको। मनीष सिसोदिया यही है, दिल्ली में कहीं छोड़ के नहीं जा रहे हैं। किसी गलतफहमी में मत रहिए आप। जब गिरफ्तार करना है, जो करना है कीजिए, लेकिन ये नौटंकी मत कीजिए।
Mayank is joining us live from outside Manish Sisodia's residence. Mayank, the response from the Aam Admi Party, and it looks like all the top leaders are backing Manish Sisodia at this point, saying that the Delhi government has done good work. That's why they continue to be targeted. In fact, even calling the raids and the searches as a mere nautanki and nothing else.
Well, absolutely, Pratibha, and that is the charge that all the political leaders of the Aam Admi Party have been making since the time, CBI came knocking at the doors of Manish Sisodia at the 17 Mathura Road, AB 17 Mathura Road. So since that time, all the political leaders of the Aam Admi Party made a beeline to the press room of the Aam Admi Party office at, at Rose Avenue to give that statement that Manish Sisodia has emerged as a very strong leader who has performed on the education and also on the health model of the Delhi, and that's why the central government is behind him and is trying to tarnish his image and put him behind the bars. Now after this lookout notice, the Aam Admi Party is trying to portray this as that, and they are trying to portray Manish Sisodia as a person who has always tried to solve problems of the common man, which are inflation and the rising unemployment in the country. So they are saying that the current central government can't have any any strategy, so to say, to get rid of all these problems, and they don't want the other political parties and especially the Aam Admi Party also to solve those problems, so that their clout remains bigger at this stage. Also, some of the spokesperson of the Aam Admi Party are also stating that this attack, this out circular notice by the CBI and also ED coming into the picture, this is just nothing but just an act of intimidation, and this is aggression of the central government against the act of federalism in the country. So this whole this whole narrative is being set by the Aam Admi Party, that whatever is being happening with Manish Sisodia and all the leaders of the Aam Admi
no less than
Party.
The Chief Minister also tweeting in support of Manish Sisodia. Thank you for joining us with those details. Let's